Former White House press secretary and Fox News contributor now, Ari Fleischer, joins me. Ari, there are a lot of moving parts here. I'm glad you're with me today. First of all, when you look at how an incoming White House would have to deal with this, where do you put the story? What should Joe Biden transition team be doing right now?
Well, in normal times, this would be a number one headache. This could threaten to dominate all early actions of an administration, but normal is defined by the press corps. So if the press corps goes easy, then they don't have to have this usual feeding frenzy reaction most White Houses go through. So we'll have to see what the rest of the media does with this story. Right now, they have muted it. They really haven't run with it the way others have. But Harris, let me step back from this. I think there are three major themes here to all that reporting. Number one, the threat of China. China remains a major threat, a major adversary, and America needs to wake up. The incoming Biden administration needs to wake up and be tough with China. Number two, the dereliction of duty by the mainstream media in not reporting the Hunter Biden story. The New York Post was onto something, and the news got suppressed. The press was derelict in its duty. And three, just how poorly Swalwell is handling this. My initial reaction was, if you are set up by a foreign country and you unwittingly, unknowingly fell for it, it may not be your fault. But the way he's handling this, the way he's lashing out falsely at the Trump administration for leaking this, it makes me wonder, maybe there's more there than we know, and Swalwell needs to explain it.
Ari, back in January 2019, Congressman Swalwell accused Donald Trump Jr. of meeting with a Russian spy. I want to look at that, and then let's talk about kind of where we are. Let's watch.
The president's son met with a Russian spy. You see from all individuals here, from the president's son to his son-in-law to his campaign chairman, an eagerness and a willingness to work with the Russians.
Ari, you were just talking about how Swalwell is handling all of this, and then you see him going after someone else. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and I've heard from another former member of Congress earlier this morning how angry Republican members are because of just those type of statements. Swalwell should have known better. He should have been more guarded in his wild accusations that he made against the Trump family that turned out to be wrong. And he went through something similar himself, actually much more nefarious himself. So, my point again is, if you don't know and you have a meeting with somebody, it turns out they're a spy. That's what foreign agents do. They try to target people and get away with it and never let anybody know they were a spy. That could have been the case here. But then what Swalwell needs to do now is open up, explain all, and not accuse anyone. His statement that this was leaked to get him and he raised questions about the timing, if Donald Trump was going to get somebody, he'd have done it through that brief window when Swalwell was running for president. You don't wait till now. That's the dumbest accusation I've ever heard. Don't lash out. Explain everything.
Yeah, what is so interesting about that, too, is that now there are questions coming up about who knew what when and who got a heads up and who didn't among all the lawmakers. I mean, it just grows. And I would fully anticipate, Ari, he could talk about some of these things, Swalwell, without going into classified information, which he knows he can't do from that investigation. Well, but there's more on Hunter Biden.
He's not the keeper of the classified information on this. He's not the keeper of the classified on this. The FBI is the keeper of the classified information. Swalwell won't know much about that. He can certainly explain everything that happened to him and what his reaction was and demonstrate his innocence. But the fact that he's not doing that, it's head-scratching.
All right, I do want to get to this, and it's from Senator Grassley, as we go deeper into what we have learned about Hunter Biden. Let's watch.
But the liberal media and members of the other political party chose to dismiss our work. They even falsely claimed that our work was Russian disinformation. And I think they did this in order to protect leaders of the other party. So you can understand why I think it's very outrageous that the Fourth Estate would choose to ignore facts when they are uncovered by Republicans. Senator Johnson and I don't do oversight work just for the fun of it.
So they were looking into this. They were this is the Finance Committee, and what are they looking at now? Finances, taxes.
Yeah, they also found a major payment, a large payment to Hunter Biden from the mayor of Moscow's, the former mayor of Moscow's wife, and the press ignored that story too. Look, this is serious. I can't think of the last time that there was an actual ongoing federal criminal investigation of a president's child. I don't know that that's ever been done. So this is real serious from a criminal point of view. And of course, it raises immediate issues about Joe Biden and his appointment to the Attorney General and the White House's future influence on a future Attorney General and the entire Department of Justice. I can't imagine Biden won't get pressured into appointing independent counsel to handle this investigation.
When you hear critics say, well, you know, President Trump's children have been looked at too, what do you say to those critics? Compare these cases, if you could.
Yeah, there was not a formal criminal probe of one of the Trump children. There was a generalized probe about collusion to see wherever it took them. Mm-hmm. And that took them to Paul Manafort, it took them to other places. But there was never anything this specific, this targeted at a presidential child because they didn't have sufficient evidence against the Trumps. Apparently they do against Joe Biden's son.
Ari, good to see you. Thank you for getting us started in the guest zone today. Always good to see you.
Thank you.
President